Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet, and it's a bit of a marquee one because it's the first time we've ever done this as a Championship club because we were relegated from the Premier League yesterday. And listen, I've let my faults be known on the thingy, but at the end of the day, we weren't good enough. Simple as that.
No, I mean, look, we've won 10 games all season, drawn 9, lost 19. That's not good enough. And look, we've had plenty of chances. And when at the real business end of the season, the fact is we lost 3 out of our last 4. So, what can you do? Tottenham, got the win yesterday, their first win at home in, 5 months. You had a feeling that the result was going to go their way. They was going to get something yesterday. So it just disappointed me yesterday that I turn up to that game and I see that starting lineup and I'm thinking, where was that at Newcastle? Why not play that at Newcastle? There's so many ifs and buts and that. But look, the fact is we are relegated. We've got to take it on the chin and we've just got to bounce back as soon as possible. And the work starts now because I know Dan said there that we might be hearing about Nuno leaving the club within the next 24 to 48 hours. And look, it's the right decision. He's not good enough for this football club. I know that Scott had made his feelings clear when he first joined, and we all sort of did, but we all wanted to get behind him. He's had 33 games to get us away from relegation, and he's failed. The players have let him down as well. He's had a transfer window. It just hasn't worked out, and we just have to move on. There's no point sitting there and pointing fingers. We'll do that all summer, most probably. But it is, it's done and we deserve it. I'll be honest, we do deserve it. We've been shit for a long time.
It's not just shit on the pitch. It's shit everywhere, and that's the core of this is I've done a morning after the game before earlier and I was really racking my brain as to what to think and to what to say earlier on. And, it's criminal what's happened at this football club in the last 10 years. It's criminal. The things that we was told. And listen, nobody's got any guarantees for promises. Promises are not guarantees. But when you see everything that went on in this club in the last 10 years and you see what was told about being debt-free and all that sort of stuff, and the way this club has been run, and I've got to say that, and I'm not going to jump on this straight away because he had to leave 5 minutes early yesterday because it was getting that bad. But, when you look at the way this football club has been run, and on and off the pitch, it's a shambles. The club's a fucking shambles.
Well, we've known that for a long time, haven't we? Known that for a long time. But go on, Scott.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
No, listen, I called it out within 2 games. The guy's a fraud, right? He's a massive, massive fraud. He's frauded us out of 8 million quid or whatever it is he's on. It's a complete and utter joke. I got people sitting to me saying, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've been right about the last 2 managers. Kills me that I have been right about the last 2 managers, but it just shows lack of ambition from the top.
We've been saying that for 10 years, Scott.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I wanted to be wrong. I so wanted to be wrong, and he just proved me right over and over and over again. The geezer is a complete waste of space. Get out of the club. You're not wanted. Anyone that wants Nuno to stay, you need to start realistically thinking about what you know and what you believe about football. The geezer, you see all the stories coming out now of how he was behind the scenes. They went in at half time, apparently 3-0 down in the game against Wolves, and Robson's is trying to give him a bollocking, and Nuno has a row with his assistant manager. Joe, it's a joke. The guy is a joke. Yeah. He's a fraud. As I said, he was shit at Forest in the end. He's been complete and utter shit with us. And he has contributed, massively, massively contributed, like the people sitting above him, at the reason we're now a Championship club.
It's crazy to say, though, isn't it? It's crazy to say, Scott, isn't it? Probably our best performance this season was against Nuno's Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
And we hired him off the back of it. And he's like, he's the man for us. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. And the thing is, Scott, you said you was right about the last 2 managers. The way I feel, you could just go and say it about the next manager and the manager after that, because as long as Sullivan's in charge, are we going to trust him to appoint the right man? because all the managers, every single manager who's appointed at this club has been a free out of work manager, the cheap option, and that's the way it will go, and that's why we don't go anywhere. Because we was talking earlier, Scott, and Emery, Villa went and paid him 8 mil out of the contract. Have that. Sullivan don't.
Yeah, but that's what ambitious clubs do, Dan. We go out and waste it on strikers that don't know where the fucking goal is and give them like 200 grand a week. We don't think about the future. We think about the now and what's out there, what's cheap, who's free. I mean, look, when Nuno goes, you know, look at the managers that are out there available, and look, I can imagine that they're going to be looking at Scott Parker. For me personally, and I know I might get a little bit of backlash for this, I actually won't mind Scott Parker because I'll tell you why. He knows the football club and he knows the championship. And I think that if anyone can rally the fans together, I think it'll be him. If he was to go out and get someone like Kevin Nolan in alongside him in the backroom staff, I think that'd be perfect. I know he doesn't play the best football, but look, what do we want? We haven't seen a lot of good football. You're not going to get a good attacking manager come down to the championship. And I just think with Scott Parker, he's got 3 clubs promoted and he's done it in fashion. All right, he won the playoffs with Fulham, but Burnley, he smashed it with them. And look, I'm not saying that he's going to be the answer for the future. I don't know who else we could bring in. I mean, someone said about Slaven Bilic. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll get that. But he didn't do it with Watford. He didn't do it with West Brom. You know, it's a difficult one in the championship because it's a tough league. And when I look at the teams that are in there next season, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, fucking hell, we're going to have a big battle on our hands next season because them teams in there are decent. You know, yeah, look, Craig Bellamy for me is my first choice. I said it months ago about Craig Bellamy. I would love him, but I just can't see us attracting him in the championship unless there is a ridiculous offer for him and guaranteed money to spend. But look, we're going to have to try to keep some experienced players. I think Jared Bowen will be one. I don't see Jared Bowen leaving this football club. I really don't. Not for this next season anyway. I think maybe if we're not doing well come January, he might leave then. But I think that after seeing his comments yesterday, and I know it's fresh and emotional and raw, but Souček come out and made a statement today again. You know, keep players like that around the football club, and then go out and get the best championship players you can to get us back in the Premier League, and then we reset again. But it's going to be a difficult. I know someone said Guardiola's on a free there. I think he wouldn't be a bad chat, would he?
Free. Let me quickly read this super chat. Thank you very much, Coral, for the 499 super chat. Thank you for all your hard work across the torrid and depressing season. 44 years supporting this club. Till there's big changes on and off the pitch, I need a break. I think that's the one positive is we got the World Cup. It's a much needed break from West Ham, and it's been it's been the longest season of my life supporting this club. Honestly, like Graham Potter feels like a lifetime ago, and it was at the start of the season. And that's where we linked a load of goals.
You see it. You remember pre-season, we was watching pre-season, and then that opening day defeat against Sunderland, you could see the alarm bells were ringing then. You know, and then they got rid of it. I think after that, we lost 5-1 at home to Chelsea, you know, and then we lost to Palace. I believe that was his last game in charge. And then we obviously got Nuno. And like that seems like a different season. It just seems like this season has gone on and on and on. And like where we've been down the bottom, it makes it worse. And you know, I think the vibe I got from the fans yesterday, going to the game and, you know, in the ground, I think that we sort of all accepted relegation last week. And that was why it wasn't such a negative. It turned a little bit toxic last 5 minutes, which we'll talk about later. But I just think that fans sort of accepted. I think what makes it worse is that if it had been any other team we was battling against yesterday, it was because it was Tottenham. And that you know, that was it. It was us and Spurs. And unfortunately, they got the win. They deserve to stay up.
Yeah. I think they both deserve to go down overall, but yeah, between the two of us.
They should have relegated us both for banter.
Yeah, but that's it. You know, I'm not going to sit here. You know, at the end of the day, I said a few weeks ago, I didn't care whether it was Tottenham. It was just anyone but us. But it's us. It's us, you know, and we haven't been good enough, you know, and what you said there, right back in the ground, I think was right. But I can understand the frustrations. Because, you know, for the last 10 years at least, you know, and we've had some good times in them 10 years. Don't get me wrong, right? But the whole point of moving to this stadium was to progress, and we've never progressed. We've never progressed. And when you see the likes of Bournemouth, I checked earlier. I never even looked at the table yesterday. I didn't give a shit what was going on above us, to be honest with you. I knew where we were, and that's it. But Bournemouth are in the Europa League. Who else was it? Brentford have got into the. No, it was Brighton.
Sunderland and Brighton.
Sunderland, who've just come up, right? Who've been out of the league for 20 years, and Brighton, which is, fantastic for them. Fantastic for them football clubs. But when you think back to the days when we was getting sold this dream, and this is where, I think the fans have got a fucking real gripe, Don't forget, right, these fuckers at, I was on TalkSport this morning, but these fuckers at TalkSport and that, right, for 10 years have been telling us there wasn't a fucking issue, right? We've known there's been an issue all the fucking time, right?
Mm-hmm.
For 10 years they've been telling us there ain't an issue, and they've just seen us relegated to the Championship in a 65,000-seater stadium that we pay fuck all for, right? And this was meant to be the next big step. Bournemouth were battling for Champions League football in a 10,000-seater stadium. 10,000. It's not much more than fucking what Dagenham and Redbridge hold. Just think about that, right? So when was this ever going to come to fruition? The debt that they said we was in, we've paid off the debt. We paid off the debt to him, right? He paid the debt. Now we owe the money to him. For 10 years, he's been charged us interest, obscene amounts of interest on that 10 years. And I know he's gone, and God rest his soul. I don't like to talk a bit ill about the dead, but the other one was the fucking same because he'd done it as well. David Gold. So it's just when you get to this, even Mike Ashley, one of the worst owners in football, right, loaned that club money for nothing. And we've been charged interest. He's had his money back probably 2 or 3-fold from what he invested in the club just by taking the interest out. Sell up now. Sell up. You had to be escorted out of your own ground yesterday for fear of your own fucking life, I'm imagining. Why would you want to fucking stay here anymore? Like, you've run the club into the ground. You ain't got a clue what you're doing. You look at the team that we've got. You look at the money that we pay players. This club. And someone said to me earlier, like I was having a bit of a to and fro on Twitter with someone. Someone said it's run like a Butlins big weekender, and it fucking is. Everyone's just there to have a fucking good time, collect as
Nothing
much
wrong
money.
with them. No. Nothing wrong with them, is there, Scott?
Mate.
Definitely isn't nothing wrong with him.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, everyone's there to have a fucking good time, to collect a load of money, right? And then move on and get on with their fucking lives. What happens at Butlins stays at Butlins is the fucking saying. You know what I mean?
The thing is, though, like, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting on Friday because I don't know if you know that Friday 7:30 on Panorama is about David Sullivan.
That'd be interesting
on Friday.
Is that confirmed? Friday, because I've seen a lot of rumors.
I think, I know there's a lot of people saying it, but apparently it is. So it'd be interesting to see the outcome after that because
might do a watch along for that. To be honest,
it's going to be interesting. Maybe we should delay Friday Night Pint for 15 minutes.
No, we'll come here and we'll all watch it at the same time.
Oh, we'll all be out of sync.
The thing is, Nick, right? I think the summing up of it all is when you look at how we've been run with the stadium that we've got, with the support that we've got, with the money that we've pumped into that's been pumped into transfers and things like that, and the fact off of the back of 3 European seasons and winning a European trophy, you just got to compare us, as we said, to Aston Villa, the way Villa have been run since they got promoted back into the Premier League. They made decisions, when Gerrard was in charge, wasn't good enough, got rid of him, went out and got the man they wanted, and now they're back in the Champions League. Bournemouth, Brighton, amongst other clubs, Crystal Palace, who have had to deal with losing all their top players over the past 4 or 5 seasons, have won 2 trophies, if you count the Charity Shield, and they're now in their first European final. And that is because they are run the right way. And that's all.
It's not even about them being run the right way, Scott. They've got a good manager.
Yeah, but they've got a good
manager, just like Bournemouth have got a good manager as well.
Yeah, but they've got.
Yeah, but the reason why they've got a good manager, they've got a good structure that allows them to find managers and players. Because even the players, how do they keep go in there. And
But I don't believe. I can't remember. I don't think Palace went out and paid compensation for him. They just, when he was available, they went and got him.
Yep.
You know, that's what proper clubs do. We don't. Yep. We hang around, let everyone else take the good-looking birds home, and we end up with the ugly one at 3:00 in the morning, waiting for a fucking Uber. You know, because that's what it is. We're just fucking. We've always been like it. The only manager we've ever paid money for was Alan Pardew in 2002 or 2003, whenever it was, and that was the only time we've ever done that. Every other manager we've had since then has been someone who's out of work. And that's all it is. Look, we had a stroke of luck under David Moyes because he come in and he saved us twice and he got us to Europe and we had a good run over him. You remember that during lockdown we played some of the best football I've seen from a West Ham side in the last 10 years. And it was a joy to watch. But then it slowly started going backwards. And then we ended up with Lopetegui, then Potter. It was going backwards. And then this with Nuno, it's just gone even more backwards. So...
These super chats. Hi guys, I'm a Wolves fan. Thank you for the £5, Thomas. Hi guys, I'm a Wolves fan. Hope both our clubs get promoted next season. It's a big summer for both our clubs for transfers. Absolutely, mate. Hopefully we do it. Rich, £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Rich. Thank you for the season, lads. Chats, interviews, and games. Respect you. Appreciate it, mate. And that's the one thing. It's having all your support. Everyone in this community has been nice. It's been a silver lining in this dour season, you know, and it really has. And I've seen people sort of look and go, well, Nuno, 39 points is higher than usual for a relegated team. You can't be angry at Nuno. You had that good run, and I just think like you're just ignoring the way he bottled it time and time again. Again, the games he threw away. It doesn't matter how many points we've been relegated on. We had opportunities to get more points and he pissed it away. And that's the story, not the points, not the little run we had from February to March, April, whatever it was. It's the overall season. And you look at when it mattered, he bottled it. So
it's the last two games. It's take away the Arsenal game, which we should have had a point out of. But it's the Brentford and Newcastle game. I look at them two games and I think just one win out of them two and we'll be safe. But, Brentford, we was a bit unlucky. We should have had fucking 2 penalties that game. They've come out of me. It's the Newcastle game for me because he should have played. He went too defensive at Newcastle. He tried to be smart and tried to look for a point and we got absolutely battered.
Even a point, right, wouldn't be good enough. Like,
no, I know, but that's what he's trying to play for. I don't know what he's thinking.
He's a fucking idiot.
The thing for me is that when you break his tenure down, right, he comes into the club, what was it, September?
Yeah.
Right, comes into the club September. He knows he can't bring any players in until January, right? So what's the first thing he does? First thing he does is go to James Ward-Prowse, who, right, he wasn't playing the best football at the time, and I'm not going to say that if he was playing, things would be different. But he just fucks him off completely. Just kicks him out of the side. Don't have nothing to do with him. Anything like that. Right? That's the first thing he does when he comes in, knowing that we've got a pretty crap squad and it needs reinforcements. But we're going to do that to someone who's played in the Premier League and has got a lot of experience and does give you something. Right? So that's the first thing he done. Then he does them two ridiculous systems or playing Irvine, Souček and Rodriguez and playing Scholes and Walker Peters on opposite sides. Twice does that. Right? So that's two things straight away off the bat that he's got completely and utterly wrong. There's no excuses for that. I'm not having, he was trying to work all this out and stuff like that. As I said before, any Sunday League manager knows you don't play them players in that position, knows you don't play the pairing of the midfield that he has. It's simple stuff. Doesn't need rocket science to do it. You don't have to be a special person to see it. We all sat there and saw it, right? But this is the thing. Silly things like this. 2-0 up against Bournemouth. Decides to take off the goal scorer who's on a hat-trick to bring on someone who doesn't run. Going 5 at the back. Playing these
the thing is, as well, Scott,
against teams we shouldn't have done.
He needs to be brought in front of the FA and investigated for paying 25 million for fucking Pablo. I think the old club needs investigating for that. The geezer's the biggest fraud I've seen as a football player. How anyone's backed Pablo? He's shit. He's one of the worst players I've seen play for West Ham, and I've seen some shit.
Well, he's great until he touches the ball, and then he's a disaster.
This is what I'm saying. I said this to someone yesterday. I said he'll probably get if he stays with us, he'll probably get his first goal away to Lincoln when we're 3-0 down and start doing some fucking little dance and that and celebrating. Like the geezer should never. They need to get rid of him. I don't know how we're going to make any money back on him. I think we're better off paying someone to take him because he is that bad. I mean, when you think that someone like Ward-Prowse got frozen out, as Scott said, and not even given a chance, who's a proven Premier League player, whether he's got legs or not, put him in that midfielder. Like, look how much the midfield improved. Like, look, I'm not saying Pablo hasn't had an impact, but it's, as you said, off the ball, he has more of an impact when he's on the ball, and he's a goal scorer. He needs to put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, he hasn't even. I don't even think he's had 3 shots on target since he's been at the club. Where Tatty on the other hand, Tatty on the other hand, mate. I wish we had Tatty all season. I wish we'd have signed that geezer in the summer. That geezer, if there was any chance we had of keeping him in the Championship, which I don't think we will, because I think he's done himself fucking no harm in getting a good move away from this football club. The passion that geezer shows, even when he scored yesterday, you see the passion. He don't know what's going on at the other stadium in North London. He's fucking scored the opening goal, and I've got to say, 3 good goals yesterday. Yeah. You know, Bowen with a good finish, Cannon Wilson with a good finish. You know, Tatty with a header. But I just wish we had 11 Tatties.
I have to say though, right? Besides the goal, he works his ass off. He's pretty shit in that box. Like he had a clear chance.
Yeah,
it was hard to miss. Probably one of the worst I've ever seen.
I'm with Ryan though, and I said that you know he missed the 1-on-1 and he did a heavy touch when he was through on goal. But I'll take 11 of him over anyone.
Yeah, he's going to miss chances.
Fucking Kudus, all of them players that we've had in the past, all of them. I'll take 11 of him over anyone because at the end of the day, right? And I said this from day dot. You know, you got to work. We don't expect fucking miracles. We don't expect fucking superstars. We see him every now and then. We do see him every now and then. You know, we've had Declan Rice, we've had Dimitri Payet, we've had Paolo Di Canio. You know, we've had some fucking wonderful footballers, Carlos Tevez, right? But Arnautovic, he is. It was a class footballer. You know, we do see superstars every now and then. But you know what we do love? We love someone who fucking digs in because you know that 2 of our biggest fucking heroes are Julian Dix and Billy Bonds. Billy Bonds probably over Bobby Moore. You know, if you asked all of the, you know, the older Western, and you know what he was? He was a fucking good footballer, but he was a fucking good, you know, he works his fucking socks off for the football club. So that's all you've got to do to win these people over. And as I've said many, many times, right, and we'll go through the team in a minute and who's going and who's staying and all that sort of thing. There's many, many things I've said. Work hard for the badge on the front and people will always remember the name on the back. And that's why Paquetá, for me, you know, earlier on in the season, people, oh my God, he's the best player we've ever had, blah, 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 blah. Look at him, abandons us in the middle of the fucking season because he couldn't get his fucking own way by going to Manchester City 2 years ago. And he started crying about it. He's still fucking crying about it. You know, the geezer was a fucking disgrace. But, you know, I will take 11 Tatties over 11 Somervilles. Over 11
Somerville works his ass. Hold on. Somerville works.
I don't give a shit, mate. I will take 11 Tatties over anybody.
You just said you care about people working their ass off. He works his ass off.
Mate, did you watch at the beginning of the fucking season then, Dan, about how hard he fucking works?
He just came back from injury.
He went into a fucking photo shoot the other day and told everyone he's not fucking doing it.
But that's not even confirmed. Calm yourself down. That's not even confirmed. One, mate, you look at the start of the season. He just come back from injury. He won't be here in the fucking
after the summer, right? All right, he won't be here after the fucking summer.
Dan, can I just say one thing? I can confirm that was 100% Somerville.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much.
100%. I'll tell you off camera who told me that. But it was 100% Somerville. That was he was meant to be picked up to go, and he refused to go. Refused to do it. So, but look, I have to agree. Somerville has been one of our standout players, especially in the second half of the season.
Agree.
You know, he did come back from an injury earlier in the season,
and he come on against Forest and was a big part of why we won that game. So that thing about him working his ass off at the start of the season, like I said, whatever's happened, okay, that's a story, and like I said, I believe Ryan, but I'm just saying on the pitch. Somerville, Souček, Bowen, Tatty, yeah, all works. Even Pablo works. Like they work.
Yeah.
There's players that
They
work
work
hard. Now there's
hard.
some players
They work hard.
that don't. The youth, he
but-
runs, but he's just shit, mate.
I would
He's just shit.
I would take 11 Pablos over anyone.
Let
Sorry,
me quickly read.
Fuck yeah, 11 Pablos. We'll be in League Two.
sorry, 11 tatties over anyone. I would.
Shout out to Cass. CA $2 Canadian super chats. I'm sorry, Mark Noble, sporting director, has to go. I don't think he does anything. I think he's supposed to be involved in the academy stuff, but I think he's probably seen the writing on the wall. I've heard he's gone missing with everything that's gone on. Alex, €5.99 super chat. What about Paco for manager? Football might be better.
He was here when we went down, so he can fuck off and all.
Someone a little bit more fire. $4.99 super chat. Thank you much. Do you think we'll bounce up first time when asked upon? According to Instagram posts, cheers from Seattle. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of players to be kept, and a lot of players to be replaced.
The thing is, whoever comes in, like they've got a good group of youngsters there that they can work around and build on, and they've got youngsters there now that have got a little bit of Premier League experience. And you look at the likes of Potts, who the two previous clubs he went on loan at, he got player of the season for them both. Kante has come on leaps and bounds this season. You know, there is good youngsters in that team to build around. So I think whoever comes into the football club, they will be picking up a good. It's just about building that with a little bit of experience, because you can't rely on them in any league, really. It's not fair on the youngsters, but yeah.
I'm grateful for this super chat, but it's a bit of a mad one. You lot are too. Thank you very much, Thomas. But you lot are too harsh on players and Sullivan. Do you know what? There's no even place to even begin to
up that to $200, and I'll agree with you.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt, £20 super chat. Thank you very much, Matt. We really appreciate it, mate. Hope you're well. Thanks for the content all season, chaps. Beer on me. Not quite City Peroni prices. More a few tins from Tesco. It's always better. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you chaps hit 100k subs onwards and upwards. Thank you very much for your support all season as well, Matt. Legend as well. Ivan Nusik. Apologies if I butchered that too. Super chat. Somerville, exactly the same when leaving Leeds. It's a Leeds fan. Nick, we've got a few Canadians in the house. Another $2 Canadian super chat. Does Sullivan's wealth being dirty money matter? I think to me, it just matters how he runs this football club.
How he spends it.
Listen, I don't like the way he made his money, but how he made his money is his fucking business. To be honest with you, it's not my fucking business. I'm not buying his dildos. They're not selling his fucking dildos in the shop. Whatever, however he made his money, that's his fucking business. Yeah, but I would say this: it ain't like Russian mafia money, and other money that comes into the Premier League. Like as fucking filth as it is, it's clean money. There's worse money out there. Believe.
Yeah. Look, as someone said there, all owners have got dirty money somewhere in their fucking. They all do a little bit of dodgy business somewhere, but yeah,
exactly. Millwall away next year. Dockers Derby is back.
Yeah, Charlton. There's some tasty games there next season. Like the Championship is a tough league. You look at the teams that are in the Championship next season. I think most of them are played in the Premiership at some point. I think it's only like Lincoln and Bristol. I can't remember the other teams but Bolton have come up as well. It's
a Premier League graveyard, mate.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Yeah.
But look, not everyone can be in the Premier League.
No. So, listen, and I'll say this, and I've said this a couple of weeks ago, and I know Dan disagreed with me, and that's fine. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, there's going to be pain for this football club. I think we was better off going down this season. I think we would have been really, really fucking bad next season. And I've got to read this.
Let's be honest. At least we can't sit on here next year and moan about any VAR decisions, because we ain't got VAR next season.
That's the one bright.
We can go old school. We can just blame the ref for not being fucking on the game. We ain't got VAR no more.
This is it, right? And the thing like this, John Hawkins, and I've got an uncle called John Hawkins. So I hope this ain't you, John. You all got great hindsight. What about talking about the future? listen,
We
this
are.
ain't
We're
hindsight.
talking about next season.
Yeah, exactly. But John, this ain't hindsight, mate. Right? And if you want to talk about fucking hindsights and talking about the future, why don't you go back to the conversation I had with Sean Whetstone at the beginning of the season? Right? Because we could all see this coming from a fucking mile off. We're not talking hindsight here, mate. We're not talking hindsight. We're talking about facts that we have fucking stated for years. Not this season, not after the fucking fact, for years. And I said this at the beginning. I've got the fucking video up here, right? I won't play it, but I'll leave a thingy in. This is why this club is in it. David Sullivan, right? Whether he's got dirty money, clean money, whatever, his money, pack it in a fucking suitcase and fuck off, because nobody wants you here anymore. You know what I mean? And nobody's wanted you here from pretty much 10 years now, 15 years, right? So at the beginning of the season, and this is why we're in, David Sullivan is so out of touch. He's not just out of touch with football, he's out of touch with reality, right? I know full fact that he sits in his fucking office and barely comes out of his fucking office. He's always working. He has got no contact with the outside world, right? He relies on people. And there's a lot of people out there that keep in contact with him, content creators and all that sort of thing. One of the content creators that keeps involved with him is Sean Whetstone, right? And this is how he sort of grasps the reality of the situations. He asks people like Sean Whetstone, right, about, what do you think about? And they're so far, they've got their tongue so far up that geezer's fucking arsehole, so far up his arsehole, right, that they tell him what he wants to hear. They don't tell him the fucking truth, right? And me and Ryan have sat in rooms with people that are there. They don't tell him the fucking truth. They tell him what they want to hear. They pander to him, right? Because he's fucking feeding them their business. Yeah, this is how they make their. I know Sean's got other things, but at the end of the day, he's a content creator, and this is how he makes his money, right? And they feed him the bullshit that he wants to hear, so he keeps on feeding him the shit that he wants them to tell us, so they can monetize off of it, right? That is fact, right? We asked him at the beginning of the season. This was before Fernandez was here. This was before Tati, Pablo, any of them, right? Came. Do you think we can go down this year? And he said to us, Dan, you was there. You was on the fucking call at the time. He said to us, do you honestly think this team will go down? Do you honestly think this team will go down? And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, yes. Yes, I do. And he laughed. He laughed. And that is where fucking people like David Sullivan gets his information from. That is where he gets his fucking information about signings and things from. He asks people like that. He relies on agents. Apparently, Pablo was turned down by Wrexham for £900,000, and we've paid £20 million for him. I think there's a load of people around him that fucking just tell him what he wants to hear.
I'll be honest, apparently he's a mate of Nuno's, like a son of Nuno's mate.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, so, I wasn't surprised. Yeah, because apparently he had a hamstring injury when we signed him, and the
he played. It was someone that Nuno played with in Portugal. It was his son, and we paid 25 million for him.
Yeah. So people were saying that about Pablo. They turned it down for 900. We've paid for 20 million, and I think there's people around him because he's such a gullible guy. I think there's just people around him just taking money out of his pocket. And I honestly think that because he has not got a clue. He hasn't got a clue how to run a football club. Look at it. Look at him. The way he runs businesses, right? Sex sells. Anyone can sell. It just happened to be the right place at the right time. He made his money. How he made his money, it's not my business. But now the Premier League is such a cutthroat business, right? And it's such full of money that, you've got to invest. You've got to invest properly, and you've got to have people around you that are telling you the truth and have your best interests at heart. Because at the moment, look at what we've got and look at what we're paying for him. Don't tell me people ain't ripping him off. He's too old and too past the ill. And I'll be honest with you, he's never, ever been a fucking good businessman. He just happened to be at the right fucking place at the right fucking time. And he made a lot of money from investing in Pong. That's where he made his money.
It might be. I know he's going to, obviously, the club ain't as valuable it was in the Premier League, but he's just going to have to take a hit because whatever he sells the club for, he's making a profit on. So, it's about time. But look, at the end of the day, if no one's bidding for the club and no one's putting bids in for it, then we can't sell it. So
lower his price then, right?
Yeah, you need someone out there that's gonna. The thing is, he's gonna have to lower his price in the Championship. Even if he what did he value us out? 800 million or something like that.
Yeah,
800 million quid.
Yeah.
Even if he drops it to 400 million, 500 million, they bought the club for 80 million in 2010.
I know, yeah. It's just,
no, so they're making money back, but
he's had his money back for interest, as I said earlier.
Yeah,
and you know
of course he has.
And this is going to be what's fucking worse about this, right? She's gone, that old fucking witch, Karen Brady. But I'm going to be honest with you, I think without her, this even gets fucking worse, because I think as fucking much of a scumbag she is, and as much as a fucking liar she is, right? She was at least fucking sane and goes out on the fucking streets and sees what's going on.
Yeah, that's true, mate. You are right there.
Do you know what I mean?
Let me quickly read these super chats. This is spot on there from Harry, £5 super thank, mate. Most EPL clubs are either consensus or data driven, but West Ham, Sullivan runs West Ham like a 1980s first division chairman. Why? Yeah, that is the thing. We are massively behind the times.
You want to know why he runs it like a 1980s first division chairman? Because he is a fucking 1980s first division chairman. That's where he came from.
Bought
Birmingham in the early 90s, I think, when before Premier League. That's what he is. That is what he is. You look at. Do you remember Blackburn? Go back to the place. Remember Blackburn, the geezer on Blackburn. What was his name? Jack something, right? He was an old school chairman, a big fan of the football club, right? And this was before money was even in the Premier League, and he was investing things like £2 million in, which was a lot of money at the time, right? Where is he now? He's probably dead, but
he's dead. Jack Walker, he died about 10 years ago.
Yes, but right, he got out the game, right, because it passes you by. You cannot. This is not the same.
Well, he sold it to the chicken people, didn't he? Do you
remember yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's why these people ain't fucking running these clubs anymore. The days of like fucking David Sullivan and Jack Walker and fucking the geezer that fucking own Wigan and all that, they're gone. They're gone. Them people can't run football clubs anymore. The way you run a football club, and the only way you can be successful because of the fucking corruption, and let's be honest, it's fucking corruption, right? Is you've got to have multi-million-pound business driving you. It's such a fucking dangerous game right now. And I've just said to, people. Go on, mate. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I think you can still have that old school owner as long as they get the right people to run the club.
They've got to have money, mate. They've got to have behind them.
You just got to be the money. You're just the money and get the right people. And the problem is he made himself the director of football. You don't realise. Yeah. Well, he's
never just sat back and said, you run it. He's never just let someone run the football club.
Yeah. Like and that's what I'm saying. He just this is how out of touch the man is. He just puts himself in the fire line every time. At one point, do you remember the time when he was sitting on West Ham TV with his little leather jacket on, telling everyone how he's going to be stepping away now? He stepped away and stepped in more times than a fucking char slide. That's honestly, he's done more step-ins and step-outs than that. He's fucking like the Okie fucking Koki. He don't know what he fucking wants, the geezer.
Yeah. I think what fucked him over was I don't think he liked seeing the success that we was having when Moyes was here and Stein was there as well. And I think that he didn't like it that he wasn't getting the fucking recognition and that where Moyes and then Stein was. You remember when we used to see the pictures of him on the plane with the signings and that, and the fans were just loving it. He likes to be in the limelight. He likes it to be always work, where he should just be sitting back and being like, as a proper owner would, just be proud of what's going on. The club you own, you're earning money, you're having success, and that's what good owners do.
Right, hold up, Nick. Take a breath. Let me read these super chats, please.
We've got quite a few.
Can we just talk about the football, and we can read the super chats after?
Well, but if we read them, and then you go on a massive monologue, like whenever I read one.
But I'm making a fucking point, mate.
Oh, go on then.
Let him read them.
Go on, mate.
Have a drink.
been kind enough to do that.
No, I do appreciate it, but we you know, we're in a flow of the conversation.
Have a drop with that slush puppy, and
right. Well, just
I'll tell you what. Where you go and get them? Then I'll go and get another slush puppy.
All right, fuck it. Great. We can actually read these now. Jesus, right. Before he goes on, right. Well, Nicky's gone before, but thank you very much, Living Proof.
Let's talk about the football while he's not here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the game yesterday, that formation. Peter, 499 super chat. Thank you, mate. Villa put out reserves against Tottenham. Since then, the first team beat Liverpool, Man City. Thanks for all you guys do. Yeah, I know it's the bloody way. We put ourselves in that situation, didn't we, guys? Really, though. Two here from Nick. $2 Canadian. We have a lot of West Ham soccer fans in Canada. I wish we process our Toronto FC owners like you do. I'm glad we have a lot of Toronto.
Is that didn't Jermaine Defoe play for Toronto?
Yeah, sure, I think so. Yeah,
I think you went there. Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah,
I love Canada. I've always wanted to go to Canada. I'm going to get around to going.
I've heard it's nice.
Lovely people. Yeah, lovely people. The Canadians. I met a few of them like when I've been like obviously away and that, and yeah.
Oh my god! What this is hilarious. Jason here, £5 super chat. As a United fan, can we do a swap for? Give us Fernandes and we give you Mount. No, you're right. Injury prone as anything, Mount. Listen,
we'll give you Fernandes if you give us your Fernandes.
Yeah, there you go. Fernandes swap. I think that's fair. Sullivan here next season equals we struggle for playoffs. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, mate. Thank you. This has got to be a wind up. This is a troll, but already thank you for the super chat. Sullivan may not be the perfect owner, but he does his best for West Ham. Even if he does his best over clearly ain't good enough because we've been relegated. What do you think? That's a troll? Do you think he's serious, the geezer?
He's been a troll and he's paid for it as well.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for the $50 Canadian.
Cheers, mate.
That's just a general accent from around that way. I don't know if that's Canadian. Sorry. Football's about highs and lows, and by God, we've experienced the latter this year. But you're all great and doing what you love with the people you love, and along with your health, that's what matters. Keep up, the boys. The West Ham community love you. Well said, Brandon. Well said, mate.
Very well said.
Really well said, and we really appreciate you, mate. Thank you so much for that. Lee with a $4.99 super chat. Evertonian here, lads. I was at Spurs yesterday. We were dire. Sorry we couldn't do more for you. Always like West Ham. Hope you come back up. Good luck, lads. Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers,
and look, we have ourselves to blame. I don't know if any of you guys got to check out the Everton game. I was watching it at the same time as the West Ham game, and it was just a case of it was really like watching West Ham in a lot of ways. Like Nuno, like Moyes is very like Nuno, like it was just so there's no attacking threat. The lineup was very negative, and you know it was a lot of Spurs with the ball. And then once we scored, and then Everton started making attacking substitutions, like all of a sudden Spurs were on the back foot, and you're just like, oh, if they could have just done that earlier, you know, maybe things could have been different.
And imagine my shock, you saying that Moyes played negative football. God, it's like imagine that, you know. As we said, we went from Moyes to Moyes 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. They just got progressively worse as they went on.
Yeah, that's it. And that it was honestly, I was watching two sort of the same. I'm watching Moyes and the Portuguese Moyes at the same time, and I'm like, he's left Beto on the bench, and you know that George is really good, promising player. It's frustrating, really. But again, we have ourselves to blame, really, and rather than be angry at other teams. You know,
definitely, mate. That's where it comes back to. There's no one else to blame. We're going down apart from ourselves. That's it.
Yeah. 100%. So it's a tough one. Like, I don't know about you guys. It was so hard to really celebrate the goals yesterday. It was such a weird feeling.
Yeah. I didn't celebrate any of the goals, mate. I didn't even clap the team off at the end. Like, I thought, you know, I just literally stood there and just thought, what's it going to be like next season? But then, you know what? Once the dust settled, I actually woke up this morning. I was a bit more positive. You know, I was actually thinking maybe this is what we need. We had the similar situation under Avram Grant, and we said we need a reset. And we went down and we got a manager like Big Sam, and he brought in someone like Kevin Nolan. We got rid of all the deadwood, and we come straight back up. So look, it can happen. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be like it was in 2012. But look, our aim in pre-season is to go out and win that championship. Not, let's get in the playoffs. Win that championship. That's what we should be aiming for. You know, it's
never won it, have we?
Do you know? I actually think that we won't even be the most hated team in the championship next season. I think that's Southampton holds that role. I think they're going to be getting booed. But you know, look, Wolves have come down, Burnley have come down. You know, you've got Middlesbrough, Millwall. You know, Southampton, who obviously had great season. Wrexham. There's a lot of tough teams in there. So there's a part of me that's actually looking forward to it. I know that I'd prefer to be in the Premier League. I would. But
you know what? I'm laughing because I just get to a lot of the subject later, but everyone's saying to mute Nicky. Everyone's supposed to mute him just for the banter of it. It's fucking funny. Everyone's just decided, let's do that. It was a laugh. You got to laugh at you guys. If you don't laugh, you cry, and that's it. That's West Ham, and we won't take.
Yeah, look, we can't affect anything now, can we? Like, it's done. It's dusted. We've just got to move on. I'm sure we're all gonna look forward to what they release tomorrow with the season ticket prices. That should be a laugh. That'll piss people off even more. And then obviously we've got the fixture list to look forward to. We've got a World Cup to get upset over after fucking East squad announcement. Look, there's a lot of stuff to be positive about.
Do you know, I'm positive. Do you know why? Because I just got a slush puppy. When I went in and I got a sausage as well.
When I said it was really weird yesterday, weren't it? Like, right, you see, we were sitting there, it was baking hot, you know, and I've never seen a 3-0 win celebrated so, like, I don't know what word I'm looking for really, but there was just no enthusiasm in the celebration.
It's because of the situation we're in, isn't it, Scott? Like, if it had been if we'd have been safe, it'd have been a totally different atmosphere over yesterday. Definitely. I think that it's because we knew what was going on at the other stadium, you know, at Tottenham. You know, they're winning 1-0. You can see the minutes ticking down. They kicked off 5 minutes later than us as well. There was 11 minutes added on, I believe, in that game. And you think to yourself, fucking hell, I wish Arsenal were playing. I wish Tottenham were playing Arsenal yesterday, and Arsenal had to go for the league. That's what the only team that I would have thought, would have give Tottenham a fucking game. Everyone else, like, even if they'd have said to them, they got City away, they usually get good results at City. So Tottenham done their job and we didn't. That's the fact of it. And when I come home yesterday, you know, I see a few Tottenham fans on the train, and where I live, there was a few around there. And even then, there's no banter. And they just said, look, we both said it. We're both shit. You know what I mean? We should have both been relegated. We was just lucky. And we got the win.
Yeah.
So
it's just one of them ones. I think my feeling with that 3-0 was like, great, but it was a week too late. It was a week too late.
You know what made me laugh, though? When the final whistle went at Tottenham and De Zerbi ran on the pitch and no one celebrated with him. Like, he just looked round and thought, oh, shit, I'm on my own here. Let me go and find one of my coaching staff to cuddle quickly. You know, even the Tottenham fans said to me, we're not going to celebrate staying up. It's embarrassing.
I don't know. A lot of them I've seen a lot of them celebrating like they've won.
And I'm sure if roles were reversed, we would have done the same. But when in the grand scheme of things, when they think about it, they think, shit, we're just celebrating staying up on the final day of the season, when a few years ago we was in the Champions League and finishing in the top 4. So
I see some TikTok of a geezer, right? And listen, I'm fucking pot calling kettle and all of that sort of thing, because obviously we film ourselves for a living. But this geezer is on TikTok and he's crying and singing "When the Spurs Go Mighty." You've seen this video?
Yeah, I've seen it.
He must be doing this with his phone. When the Spurs crying, he's like, and I thought to myself, like, you know what? Leave the cunts here. Let them fuck it. If it means that fucking much to them, like, at the end of the day, we're shit. We've always been shit. I've supported this club when it was shit. We've had a couple of good seasons, but all in all, we've always been shit. Doesn't change my mind. Listen, I said this morning. My football club. I didn't pick my football club. My football club picked me. I grew up in the area, and even if you don't grow up in the area, you feel a certain connection to football club. We can all. I could go out tomorrow. I could buy an Arsenal shirt. I'm an Arsenal fan now. I won the league. It doesn't mean that you're a supporter of the football club. To support,
I'll be lucky. I'll be lucky if you can buy an Arsenal shirt, mate. I think they're all sold out. I've seen everyone.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. But
I went out the other day on Saturday. I went down South End the other day. Every other person's got an Arsenal shirt on.
Yeah.
Even around my area, rare you see an Arsenal support around here. Now everyone's wearing them.
Yeah.
They come out of hibernation after 22 years. That's what it is, mate.
They all come out the window. But listen, good luck to them. I'll be honest with you. It was quite nice to see the celebrations the other night. Them spontaneous celebrations. We ain't seen celebrations like that for donkey's years, right on the streets.
What do you make of?
Let them enjoy this.
What do you make of Declan Rice's reaction yesterday when he realised we got relegated? Do you think that's because he knew the cameras were on him?
He didn't know that camera was there. I don't think he knew that camera was there.
Yeah. He said the other day in his interview that when he done that, well, it's not over yet, it's not done. He said he didn't realise the cameras were on him. He's just lost to Man City. He's sitting in the middle of a Premier League pitch with about 1 million cameras around him. But look, I've got no hate for Declan Rice. I just and I know it affects him. Like he does have a lot of love for this football club, and he's never said a bad word about us. But
I heard he said something about us in the post-match speech. I haven't had that concern, but I have heard he said he thought.
The thing is, I think with him, he understands that when he got rejected from Chelsea, we took a punt on him.
Well, and that's what it is, as well. It's like he must think that 3 years ago, he was lifting a trophy for us, and now we're relegated. There's a lot of players. I see Sue Fowl, one of the first players to come out yesterday.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think he was voted in the team of the season.
Yeah,
in the Bundesliga.
Germany.
Someone we let go, another character we should have kept hold of. There was a lot of
players like Enner Valencia and all these. There was a lot of players commenting and stuff, and you're like, wow, you don't realise the effect you have on these players.
Rice don't hate Spurs. His family all Spurs. I can tell you now they're not.
No.
Not one of them is small Spurs. I know his family. They're all Chelsea.
The opposite of Spurs. But yeah, it's funny. You was talking about that geezer, and that sweep chat actually kind of tied into it. You were talking about the geezer filming himself, and it's talking about the tourists. Got to be able to get rid of tourists next year. A lot of the tourists will probably go, wouldn't they? Like, really, I don't think they'll be replaced by real fans. I don't think a lot of the fans.
Can we just put this out there, right? Because we've obviously got Canadian.
People get sensitive to that.
We don't class tourists as supporters from other countries, right? If you support West Ham, it doesn't matter what country you come from. When you come over, you're not a tourist because you're a West Ham fan. When we're talking about tourists, we're talking about the people that turn up on a match day to, I'm going to watch a Premier League game, or they sit there in an Arsenal hat, tracksuit and all that, watching West Ham Liverpool.
If you go over there, I've seen people dressed up like 70s people. Do you know why? Because they're on their way to ABBA. And they go, there's a game on.
Let's go watch the game.
Let's go watch. Listen, anyone's entitled to buy tickets. That's the end of the day. I was going to
say, it's no difference from when we go to America and I'll go and watch baseball or you go and watch
I want to watch the basketball.
But I think for us,
the difference is you would go over there, right, and you would join in the day. Do you know what I mean? You get involved.
Mate, when I went to the baseball, I ended up on the fucking big screen.
There you go. But that's what I'm saying. You join in with it all. You don't just sit there quietly munching your popcorn, going, "Oh, this is pleasant, isn't it?"
No, to be honest, I did do that when I was watching the basketball.
Well,
I didn't ever know what the fuck was going on.
No, but the thing is, it's like I don't necessarily begrudge people, right? If you want to go and take it, I'm not begrudging. But for us, for the fan experience, having a stadium where you got loads of people like that, it's a negative for the atmosphere. When you got so many, with this thing about us getting the tourists out, you think, well, okay, maybe if you have less of them tourists, so you can have less people sucking life out of you. Because when you're there watching the game, you got all these people sitting down eating popcorn, people behind you telling you to sit down. It does affect It does affect.
I'll be honest though. I think it depends on ticket prices next season. I think and let's be honest, we'll find out how many people are on the waiting list for these season tickets, because if there's 50, 60,000 people in it, then we should have a sellout next season, because if season tickets are becoming free, to buy, you know what I mean? So, and the thing is, like I said, ticket prices, there'll be some games where there'll probably only be about a tenner for a ticket. Mm-hmm. So you will get people going over there. I still think you'll get rival fans going over there when their team ain't playing.
I have heard 17.5% reduction in price, but that isn't confirmed.
17.5, very specific number.
Would not surprise me if they just freeze the pricing.
Yeah, freeze the pricing. I've heard a reduction
because there's more games in the championship as well.
Well, that fucking last time we went down, they fucking rose the prices and they fucking sold it like that. Yeah, you get more games. But listen. Congratulations to Tottenham. I mean that, they stay in the league. They deserve to stay in the league. You want to know why people hate them? And this is the perfect example. We're shameless and we're going to enjoy ourselves all summer. Then we're challenging for the treble next season. And that's why and that's why people want to them go down.
I think Richarlison said they're going to compete for the league next season.
Listen, the only thing they're going to be, the only treble they're going to be competing for is a treble of fighting relegation again, because that's all they're going to get.
Yeah. 3 17th place finishes in a row. That's a treble. Yeah, good luck to it. I'll get to some of these super chats in a minute. Everyone. But yeah, I think it's nice. It's nice to come together. I've been very down, but talking it out with mates and stuff, it puts perspective into things, and it is like a new adventure. But at the same time now, we've got to hope that after Nuno, Sullivan's not long gone. I mean, we've got a lot of. I just really say this: we've got a lot of people to fucking hire, and this is the problem. We're behind everyone else because we've got to replace all these executives. They're talking about getting a director of football in. They've got to replace Brady. They've got to replace all these other staff.
I'm going to be honest with you, Dan. That's exactly what we need.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They've got to do it, but the problem is it's not done yet. So we're starting behind everyone else, because before we proceed, we've got to get all this sorted. I just hope Amanda Stevely comes in and saves us, because she's been.
The thing is, Dan, I said this.
Dan, I'd rather have fucking Amanda Holden in charge of us than these fucking brats we've got here now. So bring it on.
Let me read this. Look, don't moan about Nuno. About him, it wouldn't have gone to the wire. No, it wouldn't have gone to the wire.
We would have stayed up. Exactly.
But listen, enjoy the
Steve.
championship. CEO wide. Come on, you dickheads. Who's that? Who's D?
Come on, you. Whose nickname is D? Devils?
It must be an S in his. But it's right.
Yeah. S and D is next to each other.
S is next to D, on the keyboard. So he's got.
I'm just going to go. Come on, you dickheads, and it would be right either way if it was an S or a D.
Come on, you durs.
Yeah.
You do. No,
Dan, going into next season, right? I said this. I do think we're behind so many clubs, so many clubs of what we need compared to what they're going to need.
And Scott, just say we've got to sell all these players first. Like that's going to be the focus. Like all these clubs are going to start to worrying about who they're buying, and signing players. We've got to get a manager in. We've got to sell all these players. And then and if they get this director of football in that they're talking about, they've got to get that in. And then we can start looking at who we're bringing in. So we are massively behind every other.
I think that's the key thing is we need to get someone in straight away. I can imagine they've been talking to people because they would have had a backup plan, But just quickly before we go, what is your thoughts if it is Scott Parker?
It gets us out of the championship. It's all right.
If we get Parker, I want us to be.
There's a lot more resources here. There is a lot more resources here. There's a lot more attraction here than Burnley, and I mean that with the greatest respect to Burnley. Right? He's not going to struggle like he did at Burnley if he comes.
He was
up.
at Fulham.
He was at Fulham.
Yeah. And he got Bournemouth promoted.
Yeah. So he knows the club. He's West Ham. He done well in the championship. He's got a fucking heck of a job on. I
get the reaction from people in the comments laughing about Parker saying it's negative and all that, and I get that. But we're in the championship next season, not the Champions League. Let's just take a step
The
back
thing
and
is-
think, look,
and that's why I said I'd take Dyche, and people were fucking
The
kicking off over
thing
that.
with Parker, you got to remember, he got Burnley promoted. They lost 2 games all season.
Yeah, listen,
This
I
is a
think
big, you've
if
got.
we get,
Go on, mate.
yeah, Scott. No, I'll just say I'll have him, take him, whatever, but just be ruthless. Give him a championship contract because there's no point sticking with him in the Premier League. And then you get 3 months down the line, you got to sack him, and then we're firefighting, and we're back to square one. Like, we have to be ambitious when we come back up. And I just don't see the point of going, and being sentimental and going, well, you've earned it because you've got us up. Like, we've got to say, listen, you get us up, and then we progress. Because I just think we'll just be back to square one.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's he is a championship manager. You get managers like this. Neil Warnock is a championship manager. There are people that know that side and that division like the back of the hand. They know how to get out of it. And when they get into the Premier League, they come unstuck. Whether they've got the money behind them or what, they just seem to come unstuck. And it's unfortunate, but you are right, mate. You've got to do the right thing.
There's a lot of people there saying. There's a lot of people saying Craig Bellamy, and I get that, and it'd be my first choice because I love his passion and what he's done with Wales, and he could just jump on and fucking I think he could, and he knows the football club as well. The fans, I think, would really get behind someone like Craig Bellamy, and that's why I think a lot of fans would get behind Scott Parker. But look, whoever we get in charge, it's not going to please everyone. We know that there's going to be people out there moaning about whoever It's just it is what it is with football. You're not going to please everyone. So as long as we make the right appointment, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, priority is to get out. That's the first priority. But I have to say I am drained of negative managers. I'm really tired of it. If we need
Big Ange, anyone Big Ange?
Yeah, I think he'd do well in the championship.
Frank?
To be honest.
Frank's
Big Ange.
Frank with after Spurs, mate.
Big
Ange. There's a lot of
He was so negative.
Yeah, but a lot of managers
so
go
negative.
Spurs and they don't do well, and then they do.
Yeah, but it's not about him. He was so negative. He was just ridiculous with the players he had.
Look at what he had. They fucking
at the start of the season,
they come 17th again. They ain't that fucking good, are they?
No, I'm just saying he had players to attack. He didn't have he didn't inherit a super defensive negative team.
Who?
What do you mean?
They're not as good as they ain't shit.
But I'm saying the team wasn't built. He inherited an Ange team, which was an attacking team.
Yeah, but he was building it for something else, man.
Listen, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you now, they would have kept Frank. They would have been safe a long time ago.
I think that's. I don't know.
I'm telling you that now. I'm telling you that.
I think he's a better man.
Alan,
De Zerbi's a better man. I'm not saying De Zerbi ain't a better manager, but I'm just saying, after the Igor Tudor fucking mess, they'd have just kept Frank. That would have been okay. They panicked.
With Frank, some managers are very suited to certain clubs, right?
Yeah.
And when they leave those clubs, Potter at Brighton, Frank at Brentford, so they're very suited for them clubs. Even Dyche at Burnley to a degree, and sometimes they go off and it just don't work. And I think that's just another. Nuno at Wolves is an example, and they can never quite get and match that because they don't have the same structure.
Mate. He done all right with Forest, Nuno.
He had, at the start, but he didn't win. He hardly won any games in 2026.
Yeah, no, he ended bad, but he done all right. He done all right with it.
At least if we did get Scott Parker, we'll have the best dressed manager in the championship.
Yeah.
The boy knows how to pull off a whistle.
Yeah, listen to this, right? And
a cardigan.
Many times, right? Chinwag Spurs, because he didn't like being called dickheads, I don't think. He said, bless you, Nicky. Enjoy the championship, geezer. Do you know what, right? I had about 10 phone calls yesterday, private numbers. I've had messages and tweets and call me wanker. And people say this to me like I'm not going to enjoy it. Well, why the fuck wouldn't I enjoy it? I always enjoy the football. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking go to the football. Like that, I go to the football to enjoy it. If I'm watching, and I've said this all season, these Premier League flag shaggers, right, who just think the Premier League is the be-all and fucking end-all of football. You are so far deluded. It is unreal. The Premier League is the biggest farce in the fucking world. They pretend it's like a big competition, but let's go and have a look at the fucking winners of the competition, right? They were saying that Spurs going down. This is how determined the Premier League are to fix things. They were saying that Tottenham going down would be a bigger shock than Leicester winning the league. That's how far they're trying to push these big 6 clubs.
Yeah.
Do you know what, mate? I will enjoy the Championship. I love it down there. I enjoy football anywhere I go. You enjoy the Premier League because you have a think about think about the Premier League and have a think about the last time the Premier League done anything for their fans. Remember when you went and booked your Newcastle ticket to go like Tottenham Newcastle, and then they moved it to a Monday night, and you lost 100 quid on an hotel and fucking 200 quid on a fucking train that you booked. That's how much the Premier League think of the fans. So you enjoy the Premier League.
The funny thing is, though, Nick, right, is you look at the comments about, we want a new name on a trophy. We have a plan for a new name on a trophy every 6 years, right? Yeah. And you think the Premier League, especially this season, have bent over backwards to make sure Arsenal win the league, right? Oh. The fact that the 6 clubs that they try aimlessly to protect were really, really happy to screw them in the arse and go and join some crappy Super League that they had idea. What makes you laugh, the 17th place team in the Premier League would have been bottom of that fucking Super League anyway.
Do you know what? I don't give a shit about Tottenham. I'm not saying it's corrupt. We deserve to go down. At the end of the day, they couldn't do nothing to save them. That was that shit. You know what I mean? It was only us that could save them because we're worse. You know, it was that bad, but that's how bad it was. You know, about, these big 6. They love these big 6 clubs. The clubs in the Premier League love these big 6 clubs. I don't give a fuck about. I don't care about.
Well, they don't love them that much, mate. Because I haven't seen one Premier League club congratulate Arsenal yet.
Yeah, but they at the end of the day, right? And you won't, a lot of people will know this. 16 teams or 14 teams below them keep them in the top 6 because all of these fucking rules and regulations, they vote for them. Yep. They know who butters their bread. Including West Ham. We're cucks. That's what we are to these fucking 6 in the Premier League. And until that corruption and that fucking nonsense ends, we've seen Everton and fucking Nottingham Forest be deducted points. You've got fucking Chelsea and Man City own over. I've said this earlier, and some fucking Man City fan telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. They're over 200 fucking charges. 200 charges between the 2 of them. There ain't been a fucking point deducted between the 2 of them.
And not only that though, Nick. Look at how they changed the rules.
Yeah, they changed them. They changed
Chelsea
them.
and Man City have done.
Go and enjoy the Premier League. All these people fucking like pointing in my face and I'll enjoy the football wherever I am. It don't matter to me where we play. I'm not a Premier League fucking flag shagger. I fucking hate the Premier League. Can't stand the place. You have to be in it. You have to be in it.
When next year, when you're paying 70 quid, go Wrexham away, not the £30 cap.
No, I'm just saying, the Premier League ain't the be-all and fucking end-all of football. That's what they want you to believe. Like, yeah, you have to be in the Premier League to be a big fry. You know what I mean? You do have to be in. But anyone underneath them 6 that they've already sort of chosen as their poster boys, we ain't got a fucking chance.
Exactly.
We ain't got a chance. So go and enjoy your fucking summer, boys. Well, I'm definitely going to enjoy mine. So
yeah, 100%. Let me get to the rest of these super chats then, as we've had a little break in the thing there. Ellis, £5 super chat. Thank you, Ellis. Moyes papered over the cracks of GSB. Poor managers and summer window killed us. Started the season with only the youth. Cobble Peters and Wilson on a free. Yeah, spot on, mate. Spot on. Yeah, I read that one out. C Page, $4.99 super chat. Hi lads, Spurs fan here. Tough season for both of us. I have a soft spot for West Ham as a lot of my family are Hammers. Good luck and see you soon. See, they're not all bad, Spurs fans. Cheers, mate. Not all bad.
No, do you know what? Actually, it's humbled them a little bit. It's only the cunts like these people in here that are, that are fucking bad. So,
Shaz Thomas with $2 Canadian. Spurs and West Ham both have gambling kit sponsors. Well, not next season. I think is that only Premier League where the gambling sponsors?
I think it's everywhere down. I think,
yeah,
because there's a lot of lower league clubs trying to give away the shirts they've got the gambling sponsors on because they can't sell them next season.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, right? Sorry, Dan. You can click that one. If we had a full score, we wouldn't be 17th. What happened to them then? Like, you have got a full score. They're just fucking hurt. Everyone's got.
And
the
reason why they're hurt is because of their shambolic physios and medical team getting people with ACLs doing fucking star jumps.
And what happened last year?
Yeah, injuries again. Yeah.
Listen, we finished Ireland 17th with half our squad out and with injuries, so that's just your excuse. You've been poor
the
for 2
injuries are their
seasons.
fault. Most of them are their fault.
Yep.
You used your platform to push Moyes out, sackable. Again, this is just not true. I've said this so many times. They changed his job role. They wanted him to be a head coach. He didn't want to be a head coach. So he said, okay, well, I'm not signing this new contract.
I'll say this, mate. We're not the fucking government. It's a big fan channel. It's opinions. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, we give our opinions. You either listen to it or you don't. But you know who ain't listening to it? The people at the fucking top. Well, they do listen to it, but they ain't fucking, following through with it. We don't choose whether Moyes goes or not. Because I fucking turn around and say I want Moyes out, I mean fucking Moyes is going to go. When last week, when they was fucking people coming in the thingy, you all wanted Wilson to start. You pushed for Wilson to start. Yeah, well, am I making a fucking decision? No, I'm not. You don't. No one has to fucking do it. Like,
people want to put the blame everywhere, but where it belongs. Do you know what I mean?
Everton, they want Moyes out.
Exactly. And the thing is, you go back to the comment about Wilson. We wanted Wilson to start in a 2, not in a 1. So, people come and
we wanted Moyes to go, but we didn't want Lopetegui. We wanted a good manager to go.
We wanted to push forward. We wanted to go forward. We went backwards. That's what it was. Anyone that sat and watched the football under Moyes in that last season would understand why we'd had enough. And that's what it was. Me and Ryan right? We said it yesterday.
I'll just say we finished 9th that season. Europa League quarter final.
Yeah, we did. But
we did. But
we were the last to return, Ryan, me and you.
It was like it was like the Nuno season for Forest that season, right? Because we started well, but then we conceded a record number of Premier League goals, right? So when you're watching the worst football ever, because the football got progressively worse.
It wasn't just
and you're losing 6-0, 5-0, whatever every week. You're playing defensive negative football, but also getting battered, absolutely battered. Fans are not going to want to see that.
We've just watched it under 3 different managers.
Yeah.
Exactly the same football didn't work.
I think the Rock was already starting. It wasn't Moyes. It wasn't Moyes. Moyes was just getting worse. Moyes peaked, and the football. I don't think Moyes would have saved us. And
the thing is with Moyes, he even said he realised, because the way we was playing when it was successful was this counter-attacking football. Teams were starting to figure out, so he recognised that he needed a new way of playing. Unfortunately, the new way of playing didn't work. But that's when we started playing the sideways backwards. We signed a lot of slow players, and we regressed and we suffered for it.
The thing I would say that we miss under Moyes, and I would say this, right, and I don't think it's just Moyes. I think Rice has got a big part to do with it. Noble and a couple of players that left, Cresswell, Antonio, people like that. Is he had a brilliant dressing room. He had brilliant dressing room. Like the squad was very, very much together. Soufal was part of that as well. Souček when he came in, and it was together. That was something Moyes done well, right?
He had good background staff as well. Like even when he first came in, he had Stuart Pearce as part of that, and then when Stuart Pearce left, he replaced him with Kevin Nolan. People that know the football club.
Irvin.
So Irvin.
That was the thing, right? He had good. What you've heard about the last 2 managers is bad. There was Antonio's come out today. I don't know whether you've heard this, and they offered him a contract. And they said, but you're not going to play for the fuck knows why they offered him a contract. You're not going to play for the first team. You're going to play for the under-21s.
Yeah.
And he turned around and went, well, why the fuck would I do that? And basically, Potter said, it's not my choice. It's Sullivan's. So this is Potter. So he went up to Sullivan and he said to him, like, I've just heard you've offered me a contract to play with the under-21s. Why would I sign that?
Brady. It was Brady, not Sullivan.
Brady.
He said because the contract was less than what the under-21s get paid. And he goes, why would I take for less than the under? He goes, well, they haven't got a broken leg.
But let's be honest. But then when he went to see Brady, she turned around and went, "It's Potter. We don't want you."
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he hasn't played since that injury, so it's
I agree with that. It was the correct decision, but be fucking honest with the man.
Yeah, they pissed him about.
Like, why are you pissing him? Why are you sending him? Oh, it's not me, it's them, and they're going up there, but it's not me. Like, be honest with them. This is what I'm saying. Listen, it's not the
I've done
first
that to a
time.
few players.
It's not the fucking first time they've done it. They signed Benny McCarthy, and then they slagged him off about his weight. They was there in the room when they fucking signed him, right? When we sacked Avran Grant, they wouldn't let him get back on the bus. You know what I mean? Like when they sacked fucking Allardyce. They basically they've got no decorum. These people, a lot of people would not deal. They don't deal with them because of they're so fucking rude and fucking like running around like a bunch of fucking hobos, fucking acting like a bunch of hobos. You know what I mean? Like they're just so. I don't know. They've got no class. You know, and you can't expect them to have class. You know, you're not. It's new money. You know what I mean? Like he made that money, but he's got no fucking class. Look what he made his money in. It's just, you know, there's something about the people upstairs. Like you've had this employee who was with us for 10 years. Like, and listen, I wasn't Antonio's biggest fan all the time. You know what I mean? I thought sometimes he, you know, I think he got a big bit for his boots in the end. And I got a little bit pissed off when, you know, he's flying around in his fucking car at 100 miles an hour, breaks his fucking legs and expects to be offered a new contract. Like he's finished. He ain't even playing now. So, like, I think that was bad for him. But be honest with the geezer. Just be honest with him. Like, that's what you have to do with employees. You can't be sending the geezer from fucking backwards to frontwards and, you know, and telling him why he ain't getting a new contract. Just say, you've broke your legs, mate, and I think you're finished. That's it, done.
Yeah. No, that's
right.
Shout out to EB for the 199 super chat. Ben Rama for now, Sufal, Emerson, everyone left and I knew. Shout out to Mavlaw.
Because he's getting on my fucking wick.
Oh.
This chinwag geezer.
All right. Shout out to Mavlaw. I think he's a non-West Ham fan. 499 super chat. Been watching since 2016. Post-match pint in the clubhouse days. You'll be back. Appreciate you, mate, for supporting us all these long years. Shout out to Jacket Good, to Canadian dollar super chat. Yes, you're loyal fans, but you don't know much soccer, to be honest. We know football, mate. We don't know soccer. We know football. Jason with a £2 super chat. What about Tevez? He left his club in Argentina. What about him?
The manager.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine?
No. The geezer was here for about 10 years and he never fucking learned to speak English.
Jack Massis, £2 super chat. Suggesting Pep sums up West Ham fans' delusion. Well, this is what a
muppet this geezer is because someone mentioned it in the comment and we laughed about it. We didn't mention fucking Guardiola as a West Ham manager, did we? Jesus Christ.
No. Scott.
Yes.
A question for you, mate. We read it. Don't know.
No, the wheelchair one. Yeah, that was up. We uploaded that.
There was 3 guys in wheelchairs yesterday.
There was 3 guys. The flat cap. Yeah, I titled his one.
Listen, I checked with Dan last night, 10:40 saying. Turned around and said, have you got all the fan cams? He said, yes.
How would fucking email know? You wasn't there. You was there.
I've sent screenshots of what we had.
All right.
No, because I remember editing it. It was a good fan cam. Let me double check, mate. And if it's not there, it'll be up. Don't worry. But it was a good fan cam. And he comes on regularly. So he speaks a lot of sense to geezer. So, yeah, sorry about that if it's not up. Shout out to Search2K with a $4.99 super chat. Will other teams turn us over since we just dropped down? And do you think we'll get to the playoffs next season? Well, I think we'll be, and we said this before, a lot of clubs cup final, a lot of clubs will raise their game and they'll be salivating to play at that London stadium against us. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to roll teams over, I think.
It's a tough league. It's a fucking tough league.
Andrew Carson with a $4.99 super chat. West Ham fan from Texas here. Are y'all at least excited for the Millwall games next year? Been a fan since 2015 and haven't seen the derby yet. Yes, I think it's nice to have that the proper West Ham's real derby, isn't it? Like, you know, it's always good to have. Thank you for the blank $1. And then you got
the
Jason
players are down to 8th next season, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So we got a little bit more of a chance to
fucking
push.
joke. What a
Fucking... Knowing West Ham will be 8th and then get up through the playoffs, wouldn't we?
We'll be the first team to do it.
Yeah, oh yeah. 5 bad super chat from Jason. Thoughts on Tadibo apparently refusing to play. This, I think, if he's got an issue with Nuno, then that's by the by. But I think that's poor. Right? It's poor.
Yeah, piss poor. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's fallen out with 3 managers now. Tadibo.
Yeah, you see. Listen, Tadibo was playing well. He really was. He come in and he was really playing well. I think he's been a bit harshly done by since the Sarsi's coming because he might be a wanker, but he is our wanker. And and obviously Mavropanos is fucking form, and he was getting frustrated. You could tell when he got sent off at Chelsea, mate. His eyes had gone. He was fucking fuming. Like he's. You can tell that man is not. He's not fucking. He's not one to back away from a bit of a scrap. He doesn't look like
didn't he apparently chin Lopetegui or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, but I do agree with him in points, especially with the Newcastle thing. And I said this the other day, goes to Newcastle. It's not his fucking fault we're playing a shitty formation. Fucking, he's getting all the fucking blame and he sacrifices him after 20 minutes. Like, it's fucking poor. It's poor management. And I've heard that there's a lot of people in there saying he's not the fucking, he's not a very. I see a little bit in that of him at Burton, really, because he looks like a nice guy and he talks like a nice guy. And I remember some geezer goes up to him at Burton and he says to him, "Why ain't Bowen playing today?" Yeah, and he looked at him and he went, "Well, what the fuck's it got to do with you?" Right? And the geezer went, "Because I've spent so much money coming up here, mate. And we ain't our fucking first team. Why ain't he playing today? I want to know." He went, "It's got fuck all to do with you," and walked off.
Who said that? Who are we talking about?
Nuno.
Oh, Nuno.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to picture, isn't it? It's hard to picture.
God's honest truth. Like people were there. People saw that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's poor. That's a poor attitude to have. Like for a fan. All right. Listen, we're not fucking. We're not all fucking angels, us fans. You know what I mean? We've got some fucking right cunts in our fan base. Don't get me wrong. Like, but to speak to a fan like that after, and he's saying, "What's it got to do with you?" At the end of the day, the geezer's come fucking to Burton to support you, and he wants to know why his fucking favourite player ain't playing. Just tell him. Just say, "Oh, I've had to leave him at home." That's all you got. That's what he said. He went, "What's the fuck's it got to do with you?"
Fucking don't like to be questioned. This guy's put this in a
don't look like he looks like likes to be challenged. So
Pat Messi, he's put this in a couple of times. Fucking Messi. Cheers for the super chats, though, mate. But we can't take that seriously.
What about Scott? Just last time as a post-match pint on as a Premier League team.
I am the one and only. Oh yeah!
Just a perfect way to bow out.
Highlight of our season, that was, wasn't it? Highlight of the season. It really was. Guys, that's it. It's the last post-match pint reviewing a Premier League game of football for a while now.
So to all the Premier League fans, I'm gonna sign off with not West Ham fans, but Premier League fans, and all of. I'm going to sign off with me and Ryan went on a weekend away once, and some geezer signed off like this. I'm going to say, "Ta-ta, cunts," and we're going to be back next season for the West Ham fans. So there we go.
There we go.
Remember that, right? That was the best sign off ever. We went out with this.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Look, it's been a ride. It's been 14 years. We've only done this channel as a Premier League club, so it'd be interesting next season. New sets of fans to give us banter, new sets of fans to wind up, new sets of fans to interview, new clubs to go to. So look, there's a lot to look. There's going to be darker days ahead, but look, we'll get back.
So
we'll be
a lot
back.
of football, of football to be watching next season.
Let's just hope that this time next season, when we're promoted as champions, where we're replacing Spurs, who are finally going to drop.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? On the way up. Oh, brilliant. Well, listen, thank you, everyone. It's been a crazy episode. Like I said, so many people with a lot to say. And thank you to everyone in the chat, the super chats, the normal chats, the people, the silent watchers. The old thumbs up. Check out OK Jersey. They'll, I'm sure, have our new championship kit for New Balance next season.
Yeah, we're back in Europe next season because we've got to go to Wales twice. So
yeah,
three
so
times, actually, 3 times, isn't it? Cardiff are in there? Are they not? No.
Yeah, Cardiff. Yeah, I think Cardiff are there, aren't they? Yeah.
Is it Cardiff?
Yeah, Cardiff, Wrexham, Swansea, 3 times. Fucking you, we're all going on a European tour.
Yeah, so yeah, there it is. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, of course, we're going to stay on top of all the news we there once Nuno's sacked. What's going on with who people leaving, players going, and at some point we're going to react to our season predictions. That's going to be hilarious. That is going to be absolutely hilarious. So look out.
Well, I can tell you one thing that we all predicted in that because I remember it clearly. But there was Potter was still going to be our fucking manager by the end of the season.
I can't remember it. I can't remember it at all.
We did. So that'll be fun. So look out for that.
I'm sure Scott said we're qualified for Champions League. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he definitely did. Oh God! Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. One thing left to say. Come on, you irons.